we should be eating then? Well, there is a good study which is showing then eating bitter kind of food, it stimulates the vagus nerve from your tongue, and it will stimulate the production of bile. And bile is what the liver uses to excrete on the transferring part to the gastrointestinal system. So a good amount of bile can be produced. So good products, then good food, then they can be utilized as a bitter tonic. Can be example artichoke and coffee. They both have specific benefits on the pathway of detoxification because they increasing the production of bile. Actually, there is a beautiful study that says that if people were suffering with cirrhosis or they're having certain liver condition like scarring, when they drinking coffee, and I'm not saying drink huge amount of coffee, but trying to get it a little bit here and there if you can, even a decaf will be perfectly fine. Is the taste, then it stimulates that mostly, and the caffeinic acid that is in that it will stimulate the liver to repair itself, but also to function it with what it has more appropriately. Another things that we should be eating on a regular basis than the cruciferous. When I say cruciferous, I'm talking about cauliflower, cabbages, broccoli, the Brussels sprout, bok choy, all of the family of the cabbages, basically. They have a specific compound which is called DIM, and this compound is able to facilitate the conjugation pathway on the liver, specifically on things that they can, I call them toxin, but they can easily be hormones, okay? Then they are congesting the liver and it make us feel a little bit sluggish. And the cruciferous are specific for that. And between all of them, I would probably choose mostly the broccoli because they work really, really well with it. Another food then we can add to the different dishes is garlic. Garlic contains a sulfur compound called allicin, which is a fantastic antioxidant and antibiotic, but also has the function to relax your blood vessels. So we bring in more and easily blood to a liver, but it's also able to conjugate itself to the different toxin and facilitate the phase 2 of detoxification of the liver. So the conjugation when we easily release the toxin into the gut. Another thing that you can have is green tea. Packed in antioxidant is really good for phase 1 when we need to reduce the damage that this toxin do. It also is able to reduce risk of, for example, liver cancer or the concentration of damages then they can happen on the liver. So it's really good for that sort of purification of the blood and making sure that those toxins, even if they are in the liver, they do not create some troubles. Another one is berries. I put a little picture of blueberries because they are the highest one in polyphenols, but also you can have raspberry and strawberries, whichever berry you like. Berries, they are very high on anthocyanins and polyphenols, and these specifically, they have a function of protection on our vessels. So when we transport this toxin, they are not damaging a vessel, but also is protecting the liver from the fibrosis. So a good amount of berries in your diet on a regular basis is always a good thing. Another food is the beetroot. I mentioned beetroot before. Beetroot is very high on a specific compound, which is called betaine, and it really helps to activate the enzyme, then increase the bile and increasing the protection on the liver. Sophie's asking me if green tea first thing in the morning will be as good as lemon and water. Well, normally I do a green tea with a slice of lemon and I'm done. So you can combine the two. Actually, it would be even better if you're trying to detoxify because you feel a little bit overwhelmed and overloaded to put a grapefruit juice with it, because grapefruit specifically helps to excrete the toxin. And I will have in a breakfast, because normally we have in a smaller breakfast that with grapefruit you need to be a little bit careful because it cuts down the absorption of certain nutrients. So I won't have grapefruit throughout the day. I will have it only in the morning with a little bit of tea maybe with a little bit of breakfast, and that will really helps. And again, grapefruit, like betaine and like green tea, they helps with cirrhosis and fibrosis of the liver. So it really helps to keep this major organ of purification in really good shape. And last but not least, I put as a category that is not really just one food, is a big chunk of our food, and I will repeat myself in a minute, but whole grain. Make sure you have a lot of fibers, because they are able to support the detoxing process as they support our guts, and they are making sure that the evacuation they are regular. They're able to trap more water-soluble compounds, because obviously they absorb the water themselves, and they're able to transport this toxin out of our body in a much more easy way without stagnation. Always remember the fibers, they can divide into different categories. One is the water-soluble fibers, for example, those ones that we find in oats or apple. They are called pectin, some of them, and they're able to sort of swell up with water, but together with that water, they trap a lot of toxin as well, and they make the stool pass more easily. And then you have in the hard fibers, then they work like a brush. So when it moves through the guts, it's able to brush out the membranes, the walls of our guts, making sure that there is nothing stuck in it. Then it can build up on toxin and can feed, for example, bad bacteria as well. So really a good amount of fibers is essential if we are trying to detox and facilitate the detox.